Mao Zedong and his personal physician Li Zhisui are. The more concentrated the power, the more fragile the mind. This is Jersey's news commentary channel. In Li Zhisui's memoirs, one detail appears repeatedly yet is rarely noticed: Mao Zedong's dependence on his doctor went far beyond medicine itself. Li Zhisui was not the only physician around Mao, but he remained with him over long periods, at close range, almost around the clock. He was not summoned only when Mao was ill. On the contrary, he was frequently called even when there were no clear symptoms. This need to be cared for resembled, in some ways, the state of a child. Li described many such scenes. Late at night, Mao would suddenly summon the doctor. The surroundings were quiet, with no emergency. After examination, Mao's vital signs were normal, yet he would insist that the doctor stay by his side a little longer. Medically, this was a symptomless summons. Psychologically, Mao did not need treatment, he needed presence and care. For a supreme ruler who trusted no political colleague and never let down his guard, a doctor was one of the very few people who could legally and continuously remain close and who was not a rival. Of course, all such doctors were strictly screened. Li recorded a chilling detail: Mao would sometimes repeatedly get up at night walking, sitting, then standing again without clear purpose. In an ordinary person, this might indicate anxiety. In Mao, it resembled the outward expression of an existential crisis. Mao exercised near absolute control over the state and society, yet in private he showed a strong dependence on care, companionship, and reassurance. This was a central paradox in his psychological structure, one often overlooked. In Mao's mind, almost everyone carried political intent. Li Zhisui, by contrast, confined himself to recording symptoms and habits, deliberately avoiding psychological judgment. This technical neutrality gave both men a sense of safety. Mao rejected institutional checks on his power, yet needed a doctor to listen to his breathing late at night. He tolerated no political opponents, yet required a non-threatening observer at his side. This reveals the essence of the totalitarian psyche: the more concentrated the power, the more fragile the mind, a pathological result of extreme centralization. When one can never set power aside or be treated as an equal human being, an inevitable need emerges: brief moments of non-political care and companionship. Li Zhisui fulfilled precisely this role. In Li's writing, Mao appears not simply as a tyrant, but as a man kidnapped by power, lonely and trapped within his own psyche. Li's late-night presence allowed Mao, briefly, to lay down his armor of power and experience a moment of release. In this sense, Mao was also a profoundly lonely figure. Follow me, as I help decode China.